Samskara. In Ananda Marga, we are hearing the situation or personal incident representing a samskara, a psychic reactive momentum. Buddhists call it the law of karma. For example, if a person steals from another person, later somebody will steal from the person in return. Samskaras not happens through physical actions, but it's the inflicted psychic pain or pleasure and reap the result from the same psychic manner they were created. Also, the samskara does not happen when a doer is not identified. For example, a dog does not cause a samskara when it bites a person. It doesn't know it is biting. Also, it is not correct to say that only bad action causes samskaras. Good action do the same. Any action is a chain and being identified. Whether gold or silver, good or bad, there are three samskaras. Inborn samskara, that one has inherited from the past life. One has no independence in action when undergoing the reaction of previous actions. It just happens. Acquired samskara is obtained through independent action. Imposed samskara is of several types. Worldly samskara, in contact with the physical world, creates a deep imprint on the mind when there is a disaster, living in a slum, or when there is a community violence. Environmental samskara, in contact with the surrounding society. In a house of intellectuals, becomes inspired to become learned, or gets inferiority when bullied in school by other students. Responsibility samskaras, when fulfilling one's duty. For example, to one's family or to one's country. Being a hero, educational samskaras, when schools imposes superstitious ideas or racism. And lastly, habituated samskaras is the result of the previous four types of imposed samskaras. When the mind is constantly affected and gradually that behavior becomes one's own nature. Such as the influence of advertisements, to hide the authentic self and an effort to gain greater social acceptance. How does a samskara feel and looks like? Inborn samskara, one has no independence in action, but will notice that there are things or matters one are particularly attracted or just don't like it, or dislike it. For example, in my youth, I was passionate about homemade flying machines, and I also designed them. I wanted to know all about Japan and Italy for some reasons. Also, I was working with homeless youth. It was one of the best things that I did in my Charya life. Acquired samskaras and those done through independent actions has a bad effect on the mind, making it narrow, causing inferiority, losing connection with the people and surrounding area. When removed, the mind expands clarity and a deep joy. I give you a few examples. In 1965, during one of the school summer camps, 3 9-year-old boys were rowing a boat to one small island. There were hundreds of seagulls who were nesting there. The intention was to catch a few birds, exciting, adventurous task. Before arriving there was a small chicken swimming. The boy sitting in the middle, rowing the boat, asked the boy on the front to catch it. The bird was too quick to be catched, constantly moving. The boy gave a thick wood in order to hit the bird. Then the excitement and changed into a horror. This is wrong. But the peer pressure was just pushing, go on, hit it. The boy hit the bird, but they continued to swim. The second hit made it to float still on one of his side. The boy's mind went into a yellow color that paralyzed him. Suddenly the bird started swimming again. The boy felt relieved, but his mind did not recover. Remained narrow and disconnected the whole summer, until autumn. One late evening, the boy and his friend were walking. They see one gang of youth coming towards them. The boy's friend turns around and runs away, asking him also to run. The boy cannot move. The gang of 4 youth blocks him and asks for 20 pennies, a ridiculous small amount. He has only 15 pennies in his pocket. He gets a hit in his face. The boy who hit asks where he lives. The boy points to his home and gets another hit in his face. The shock, but not painful. Something told him to fall on the ground. And on the ground, do not move. Stay absolutely still and they will go away. Same as what that small bird did, pretending to be dead, and the gang left. The boy stands up and goes in the same direction his friend had run. His friend is scolding and mocking him. Why did he not run away, you fool? He could not understand why he felt so good and delighted. He just felt so good, though it's supposed to be an awful experience. Also, it puzzled him. Why for such a small amount, 20 penny? And the silly question where they are living, and then you're getting hit by it. And if you look what happened in the summer, it was just a silly games, the small things doing it. So some connection was here between the birds and later in autumn when he got hit. Import Samskaras happens anywhere. Children are often unintentionally the target. The immature mind is easily affected. Also, we cannot blame the teachers or parents because they were imposed in this childhood. We are often dealing with the dynasty syndrome that goes from one generation to another. For example, my grandmother. At her young age, she was pointed at the rifle by her mother when she did a small mistake with the gun. And that fear she posed on me when she saw me hanging on a construction seat on the 3rd floor when I was 5 years old. The balcony did not have a rail, still under construction, but it was a wonderful view in front of me at it. And to look closer and look farther into it, and then I saw my grandmother standing there with my neighbor. And for me to get a better view, I saw an iron bar sticking out from the balcony. I took hold on it, leaned far out as possible, and I was so delighted. It looked so beautiful. And I was calling the name of my grandmother. I was waving with my hand. But instead of getting a joyful reply when my grandmother saw me, she started screaming, yelling, "This is dangerous. You will fall and you will die." And my mind went to yellow color. Almost I lost my grip, but still I managed to pull a little bit back My whole body was trembling, and I went down the staircase and said in front of my grandmother. She was continuing to scold. So that imposed samskara was affected me for many, many years to come. Until 18 years later when I started meditation. And one night I had a dream. I was on the same balcony, in the same position, seeing my grandmother down there, seeing the scenario, and all that fear was imposing into my mind. But something awakened. Actually, there is no danger at all. I am holding in the iron bar with a strong grip. There's nothing to be afraid of it. It's just an illusion. And what was interesting in that dream, suddenly I got the courage. And what? What would happen if I let it go? And I found out that it's so wonderful, so beautiful, this moment. And I waked up in that very moment. The mind was so clear, so delighted. So something had taken place. What had been there for 18 years creating inferiority complex and other narrow behaviors, suddenly it was gone. Instead of using the name Samskaras, trauma is known and studied subject that applies in the social field. A traumatic event is a frightening, dangerous or violent event that poses and threatens the child's or teenage life or bodily integrity. For the two examples what I narrated here, the impact and cure are similar what psychotherapists and social workers are using. When sadhana and the guru mantras are introduced, it could be a major improvement in that field. Thank you for watching this recording. Namaskar.